Hey, this is Rick Terry, Maine Real Estate Guide. Just got in my trusty truck, getting ready to head up to Lunksoos Lake and take a look at a off-grid lakeside cottage. We're headed basically up to Stacyville, where we're going to get on the Sherman Lumber Company Road and head back off the tar approximately 18 miles to this property and take a look at all it has to offer. I've got my sidekick Blazer with me, and we're ready to go have a little bit of adventure. Well, this is Rick Terry, Maine Real Estate Guide. We've made it to the cabin site here on Lunksoos Lake in T4R7 Wells. We're approximately 17 or 18 miles from the tar. Most of the road was the Sherman Lumber Company Road, which is in excellent shape. I was quite impressed. The road has been recently graded for the most part, and it was in very, very good condition. So we just made it to the property, so let's start on the outside and talk a bit about it. While I've been here, I released Blaze so he could run around. He's put up grouse at least twice since he's been here, right around the cabin. So you could shoot grouse, and it looks to be fairly good deer hunting ground here as well that surrounds this cabin. So this would be a great getaway deer hunting camp. This is a different type of ownership. Let's talk briefly about that. What we got coming to market here, is I'm selling the buildings and the right to lease the land under the buildings. This is a land lease. It's which is a long-standing tradition for Maine recreational properties. It used to be pretty much the only way you could get on a lake or a pond in many locations was to lease a site from a landowner. The landowner in this case is Weber Corporation. The land is being managed by Prentice and Carlisle. The current lease fee is $1,800 a year. That's an annual lease for $1,800. It's 1.16 acres is the lot size. There are about 3 other properties on Lunksoos Lake that would all be in similar situation. They're all leasing the ground as well. If you have any other questions, we can talk on the telephone when you call to inquire a bit more about this property. But here's the driveway in to the property, which looks to have been recently improved. There's very good gravel here. It's a very solid base, and here they did ditch it out, so for runoff and whatnot, so the water has a way to go. There's a culvert about where my truck is parked that crosses the driveway. This is a dug well for water for the property. So for washing water, or the sellers had never had it tested. You may want to get it tested. More than likely, it's probably spring fed. Has provided water here since this cabin was built. So let's head on down. Follow the driveway. What this property needs in the short term is someone to come here with a weed whacker and just trim the grass. No one, doesn't appear like anyone's been here this summer. So the grasses, you got some burdocks and stuff that have grown up, but overall everything's in pretty decent condition. The cabin itself is the main cabin on the inside is 16 by 24. There is an 8 by 16 covered screened-in porch on the front as well in the main structure. It has a metal roof, cedar shakes, been for the most part recently painted, and appears to be in very good condition. There are a couple of outbuildings. One directly in front of me is 12 by 16, and the other one is approximately the same size. This one here is a garage, toy barn, shop area. It's of metal construction, roof and sides. Appears to be pretty well done for a storage building. This outbuilding here is a bunkhouse for overflow guests. If you have a few extra guests that show up, the main cabin itself sleeps two. There's 2 twin beds in there, and in here there's a couple of sets of bunks. Let's open this up so you can see. So you got room for 4 or 6 guests here in the bunkhouse. The cabin, the seller really isn't sure when it was originally built. They've owned it for about 15 years, I guess, thereabouts. But it's probably been here 30 plus, would be my guess. It is built with steel posts in the ground. It's elevated. Looks to be very solid. It's got steel framework underneath, and real, I don't know if you can see those real rough sawn, real 2x4s as floor joists and whatnot. Yeah, this isn't going to move. This is pretty rugged. Should be here for a long time. But built. Nothing, it's not going to rot down here. It's steel. So, it's got a decent deck. Appears to be structurally sound. Got a couple of places that could use a little paint. But solid enough. So let's go inside. So again, before we step inside, got a nice screened-in covered porch where you can grill anytime. Got a nice view of the lake down below, Lunksoos Lake, which is 288 acres, surface acres of water. It's a trout pond fishery. So very, very nice. And the interior of the main cabin, which is quite nice, actually. So, open concept, got a wood stove for heat. Wouldn't take much to warm this place up, even during deer season. I would say this pot here is used to heat water when you do the dishes. If you got the wood stove going, you can have hot water readily available. There is no hot water heater other than that. It does have a gas range for cooking. It's got gas lights, and it's wired for electricity, but very limited. But there are a few outlets, but you don't need to run them. You could run the gas lights and be fine. So you got a couple over the dining room table. You got a gas light over the sink. Got a gas light over the stove, and you got gas lights over each of the twin beds in the back. It's got laminate flooring, easy to keep clean, and she's nice and tight. It's got nice wooden ceiling, no sign of water infiltration from the roof, so the roof appears to be in good shape. No water standing on the walls. All in all, very nice getaway cabin on a remote pond in the woods of Maine. So, you've seen the facilities. There is no facility currently that I have seen for taking a shower or something like that, but I guess a person could add such a thing down the road if they wanted to or needed to. The gray water from the kitchen sink, just have to show you that. They definitely do not have a permitted gray water system, because all they have really is a drain hose. There's the drain hose. It comes out of the kitchen sink and just terminates out there on the ground. So for doing dishes, probably perfectly fine, but if you're gonna try to use that gray water system for taking a shower, you'd run into problems. It definitely is not a permitted system. So let's head down to the water and take a look at Lunksoos Lake. It is a fairly steep grade down to the water. It's not horrible. I've definitely seen worse, and I'm not crawling all over. It's relatively level ground. It's not a lot of boulders, which is nice. But it's a nice little path from the cabin down to the water's edge. In Lunksoos Lake, according to the Maine IF&W, that's Inland Fisheries and Wildlife website, is 288 plus or minus surface acres in size, with an average depth of around 12 feet, and it is a brook trout fishery. One that, the latest information I saw, they do not stock. It said it was self-sustaining, but that was the latest information. But this is a beautiful, beautiful location. It's spectacular. The bottom is mostly small rock. It's not sand. It's not gravel. It's small rock. Probably 2 to 3 inch diameter rock. This appears to be the area where they kept their dock. Right over here. So you could... This would be a great place to have a fishing kayak, just to go for a nice paddle. And I believe today, Blazer and I are the only, other than the rough grouse and deer and moose that are inhabiting the woods around here, we're the only thing around at the moment. There are, like I said, about 3 other cottages on Lunksoos Lake further up the shoreline, but no real close neighbors. Lots of privacy, and most of the time, if you were here, you'd be here all by yourself, which, if you're looking for privacy, is very nice. The one improvement that I didn't show is the outhouse. So let's take a walk. Again, you need to trim the bushes, but you get this nice steel grate to walk up to the driveway, and then got a nice bridge across the ditch. Which leads us to the privy. Privy appears to be solid, mostly metal construction, so there's not much to go wrong here. Screen door for access, and there you go. And while you're sitting there, out back here, they recently did a wood harvest. This is where Blazer put up a couple of grouse just a little while ago, and I am certain that you will see deer and moose travel through this cut, nibbling on those raspberry bushes and fresh hardwood shoots. So this is a great hunting and recreational getaway property. So if you're looking for a cabin in the woods on a lake, and you don't want to break the bank, perhaps a land lease may be just the ticket. Again, you would not own the ground. You would be leasing the ground from the landowner. You would own the buildings, which include the main camp and the 2 outbuildings, and the rights to lease this 1.16 acres of land, and the right of way to access it along the roads that I traveled to get here. This is a very, very attractive property. Looks to be a fantastic place to come and trout fish, hang out in the summer, read a book, listen to the loons, and in the hunting season, explore the ridges and old cots of various ages in pursuit of rough grouse, white-tailed deer, snowshoe hare, and whatever you happen to be looking for that inhabits the Maine woods, because you can definitely find it here. So give Rick Terrio, your Maine real estate guy, a call at area code 207-731-9902 for more information about this getaway property on Lunksoos Lake in T4R7, Wells, Maine.